the teaching of that parent. Like I said,
I got something to say. I'm sorry. I'm the father. We did everything we could. We notified you guys. He's been bullied for 6 years. We called the police, the principals, the staff. Everybody knew it. And nobody did shit. It was always my son's word against the bully's word and his friends. It was always pushed under the fucking table. And I'm sorry for my language. I got in the cop's face, in that goddamn coach's face. My son got punched from behind, bloody lip, for no reason. He comes home, and the school calls me and says, Jason got hit in the face, but it's okay now. That's how Mr. Dodds handled it at Cedar High School. I went there the next day with the police department and said, I want this kid arrested for assault. If I came over and punched any of you in the face right now and busted your lip and your jaw, would you send me a note home saying, hey, we all had a timeout? I'd be in goddamn cuffs. And you'd be suing me for medical and loss of wages and pain and suffering. We can't do that with our kids. Adult world, that's great. But with the kids, Iron County's got such a perfect school system, we got to push it under the carpet. And that's what the goddamn cops did, the administrative, when we came up to the school board and reported it. The cop that we were bringing up on these charges in front of you threatened me that he was going to take care of me that day outside.
From the school board?
Yeah, we were down in the lower office here. He kept harassing my kid with a drug-sniffing dog.
Who was there?
I don't know who was there. It was a couple years ago. Maybe we have new faces. I'm just tired of it. The kids have no rights. It's all he said, she said. Every time there was an investigation, we got in the office, and it was, well, they said this, but we couldn't verify it, blah, blah, blah. Yet my kid got body slammed into the wall during PE, came home with a headache, had a torn every ligament in his back, had a concussion, went to the ER, 2 months of therapy, and the school did shit. We told them who the kid was. We had to take the kid to court to get the medical bills paid. But the school did nothing. Every single time there was a physical altercation, the school did nothing. And there were teachers that were aware of it. The administrative staff were aware of it. And they did nothing for 6 goddamn years. You're all negligent, and you're all going to be held responsible.
Did these incidents take place at
They all took place at the schools.
Cedar High?
Cedar Middle School and Cedar High School. And then the day he ended his life, he had 2 adults hit his goddamn face. That substitute teacher. If we meet up, I'm going to jail. He towered over my son and threatened him to put his homework away or he was going to destroy and throw it in the shredder. Now, if someone's going to get in someone's face, you're going to have a latitude. My son looked up and said, I'd like to see you try. The teacher reported him for threatening and sent him to the office. Mr. Dodds knew what was going on, let everybody cool down. By the end of the day, it was all around school, and my son was called a fucking asshole, and how can you do that to a teacher, and all the bullshit, and he came home and fucking shot himself in the head. Right in front of us, damn dear. You're all going for wrongful death, the fucking state, everything. It's just bullshit. And then you guys say, oh, they have to be reported. We've been reporting it for 6 fucking years. And I got a dead son to prove it. We walked in, my son didn't have a head. She knelt down and held his hand and waited for his heart to stop because the blood was just gushing out of his neck. Because nobody wanted to help out. It's all got to get pushed under the carpet. Kids have no rights. I'll put every fucking one of you guys in the hospital right now. And you send me a note home saying everything's okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Fuck you.
You need to sit down.
Why? Because I'm an angry parent?
You may
Or the system let us down?
I'll say this. You talk about the grades and the high standards. He was one of those students.
You know what we're going to do? Call the cops now and tell us to get out of here?
He was one of those students.
My son, you know what? On his memorial, several kids came up and said, my son saved their lives because they were contemplating suicide. He took their load on his shoulders and got him through it. The parents came up and said, if it wasn't for your son, I'd have a dead daughter. He dealt with it every single day. And was she on the cell phone calling the police department or security to escort me out because I'm ruffling the boat right here?
disorderly conduct.
Oh, you know what? My son's dead thanks to the system. Give him a call and say your dad's making an ass out of himself.
Bryce, it's the Iron County way.
Huh?
It's the Iron County.
Yeah, I know it is.
Okay, first of
Push
all,
everything under the rug. I've watched it myself
okay,
on several occasions
you know
with
what,
my own daughter.
we've listened to, and our good board, and it is a good board, has just been verbally abused. And that's not right. So,
If the board was
no,
a good board,
so what
they
we
would
need to
do
do now,
something to correct this problem.
you know what, we do many things within our district to correct the problem.
You don't
Many
enforce
things.
the
And if
rules.
you would like to come and visit with me, I would be happy to share with you everything that's going on. And just remember, there are many things that contribute to suicides in our state. And so to put the full blame on the school is incorrect as well.
There are
Happy to visit with you.
Okay, I'll stay calm here, but you know, the school
is one of the
enforces
biggest.
zero tolerance, zero fighting, zero drugs, zero everything. And then you put up a poster for a month that says, don't be a bully, pick a flower and everything.
Okay, and I understand that you're grieving, and I understand that
No,
it's hard.
I'm done grieving.
And wait, I've let you speak. Now please let me speak. We all have children, and we all have hearts, and we know what it's like to grieve. I can't put myself in your place. I don't have a child that has done what's happened in your family, so I get that. But I'm also sensitive to everybody in this room. And I don't think we need to put everybody in this room through the verbal abuse, excuse me, that you've just put our board through. And they're tough.
It's for us here. They all came for us. I'm not embarrassing myself in front of anybody.
Well,
They
no,
all are on my
not
eye.
I
everybody.
hope they're all adults and they've all heard the language and they all know. And I know these two teachers here knew Jason. I know Mr. Scott and Mr. Palmer did. He was a great kid. He didn't deserve this. And the school board's here for the kids.
You know what? We don't disagree with you. We don't disagree with you. We understand that he's a good kid. And nobody deserves to be bullied.
Why can't the policy and stuck in my son's stomach. The kid got expelled, but we couldn't call the cops, we couldn't press charges, it was just pushed right out.
You, as a citizen of Iron County, can press charges. We only take care of the things
You know what?
that happen on our campuses.
It happened on the campus,
It was
this
a
is the
school.
problem.
And he was expelled, and we put our safe school policy in place, and he was expelled from school. That's what we can do. That's what
What
the law
I'm saying,
tells
your
us.
zero tolerance should be, if you're gonna be a bully and you take a swing at a kid, you're out of the school, or you're arrested. You're not talked to and investigated where it's a he said, she said, and it just goes away.
But if he was expelled, it didn't go away. So we follow our
I'm
policies.
talking about the
and
other
we do what
kids
we can do.
that, you know, there were kids, my son knew to walk down the center of the hallway because the other bullies would run. And you know, the hallways at the school are that rough cut brick. They would try and body block anybody they could to get their face into that brick. My kid knew to stay in the center and keep an eye on his back. That went on every day for 3 years. And like I tell you, there was actually, I'm not doing it now, but boy, when court happens, there was actually, we got a teacher that actually enforced the bullying of my son. Telling the other students, you know, toughen them up. I told my son, don't retaliate, because as a rape victim, if you're a victim, you're gonna be the one in trouble. In the school. Well, exactly what happened with me. Every time I was investigated, somehow my kid's fault was because he had his back turned. I don't know how it's his fault, but that's what the school always came up with. Because there were always stories.
And I understand. And as the board's already said, we appreciate you being here. And we do have policies in place that I enforce. You need to know that weekly. Well, you know what? Because it can't just be the schools, guys. It's got to be us as a community. We've got to come together and figure out a way
That's why we're here then.
to combat that. And so if you really want to move this forward, and if you want to help this, then we have a community coalition that comes together.
I'm gonna walk the halls of the school every day and protect these kids.
Well, here's the thing, okay? I understand this son is not just his son. I went to teachers, I went to students. When my daughter's told, you want to know what they told me? It's teachers. That's what I was told. Would you like to see what my daughter does? And who's sued me next? Okay, her friend is cutting herself. Her mother didn't come today, so she asked me to please bring it up. She is doing it because she's being bullied. She has also gone to principals and teachers. The teacher was actually telling the kids to not hang out with my daughter. One of her kids' mother said, this is going to be a little older, but they did not come out of your life. So don't tell me how to raise a child. So not only are they being bullied by the children, and when we go to the principals and the teachers, we're told our hands are tied, you know, I'm sorry, they're just words, you know, maybe they brought it upon themselves. I mean, it's an ongoing theme. So I don't know the whole situation with his son. My daughter knows a lot more than I do. But what I'm saying is, there needs to be something done in terms of the principals and the teachers. There needs to be something done instead of, oh, it's just words. But you know what? You just got upset because he verbally abused you. And you guys all got upset. That's what's going on with our children. And then we're told it's just words.
And they have no rights.
Trying to stand up for themselves. They do. Not the bully. The kid trying to stand up for themselves. Is the one who gets in trouble.
My daughter finally had enough of words and threatened to beat the girl up if she said anything. Yes, my daughter's in the wrong, but at the same time, we gone ahead and gone through with everything that we could. And nothing happened. So I got a phone call from the police and from the principal saying, we're going to expel your daughter for threatening another child. And I said, well, let's see, I've gone to you guys, but we have no record of it. Well, I started tape recording everything. And if you guys would like, I can bring those into you, because I record everything, because I am tired of people losing the important stuff. I understand where you guys are at. I understand to a certain degree your hands are tied. But when a teacher tells other kids to not hang out with my child, that's inappropriate. When she goes to the principal and then is told it's just words, which I was also told that is inappropriate. And I don't know how we need to handle this, but something needs
parents, or what their children are saying and doing is a problem also. Social media is a problem. But I think maybe if we have proof of people saying it or recordings of the bullies or something, we should be able to expel it or something. I don't know what needs to be done, but something needs to be done. I'm getting worried for many children. There's 3 kids right now I'm really worried about. I know cut right now. And I am scared that they are going to be next in line. And I don't know how to go about helping them, but we need to do something.
I want you to know that we hear you. And I think there is a positive way that we can work together. And I think we're committed to that. And whether it's a coalition or whatever we need to come up with, or we can involve some of you, I think it's a positive way, but being against each other, we all lose in that situation.
Yeah, I can understand that, but this coalition and let's have more meetings, you punch somebody, you get arrested. It's why can't the kids have the same rights we as adults have? It's simple
By
as
the
that.
time they're 8 years old, they know what is right and wrong. They know by the time they're 8. By the time they're entering high school, they're adults. They know what they're doing.
And we were involved in our son. It wasn't like we ignored him. We tried to help him. And when his grades would fail, the teachers knew us. And they would say, my God, you're the only parents that come to this school to say, what can my kid do to get his grade up? What can my kid do for extra credit because he missed an assignment because he was sick? We were there all the time, and they all knew us. She would be there for my other son for lunch. I mean, everybody knew us down there. And the sad thing was, everybody that knew us also knew that he was being bullied, and none of them did a thing about it. And we're talking what? How many teachers were you that A&B crap, that's 8 teachers for 6 years, various teachers, various administrators, counselors. They all knew it because they were all in there. When I had meetings with the principal, I had the vice principal there, I had the counselor, I had Jason, the teacher, and the police. And we recorded it all. And it's always the next day, kids are kids. That doesn't work with us. Like I said, I come up and solve you. Adults are adults. We get in trouble. We have to speak for our actions. I don't see what a coalition is going to figure out. You punch a kid, you're out of school for 3 days. You punch him again, go find a new school. Simple as that. There's nothing to discuss. It's so black and white. You hit, you're out. You're in juvie. Simple.
Thank you. Couple things. We have a superintendent that is very sincere in her invitation to talk to parents and come together. We are stronger together than we are against each other. And I don't think there are simple solutions to a very complicated issue, but we're willing to work.
Okay, I have to speak up on that one. Simple.
Last point, and then we're moving on. Go ahead.
You say it's not as simple. I went to school here. I went to school Cedar. I went to school Canyon View. And it has changed a lot. Even when I went to school. If anyone that took a swing, suspended. Anyone that did anything verbally, there was even a second step, as they called it. You went in during lunch and you either served with the lunch ladies or you sat by yourself with one of the counselors during lunch. There was always something. Now there is nothing. When I went to school, I got bullied several times. I got bounced off the walls. I've gotten thrown under tables. I couldn't take it anymore. The first time I took a swing, I got suspended. There's not even that here anymore. There is
The
a
officer
simple.
said to him, when he used to get fight at school, because he can take care of himself. This is my other son. The officer, the sergeant said, get him offside the school campus and beat the shit out of him. That was the advice we got from the Cedar City Police Department. He said, get him out of the school because they're not going to do nothing and beat the shit out of him.
Appreciate your. Okay. Sure.
Okay, I just wanted to show him something real quick. This is a picture my daughter sent me from school. This was scratched in on one of the guys will look at it. Don't worry, it'll stay off for like 5 minutes, but anyways, it says, I will make sure she kills herself. Don't F with me. And then another bad word.
This is from one of our schools.
This is at Cedar High School in the girls' bathroom.
And did she let it in?
I do not know. My daughter's back there and they just walked in. Probably not because she's really shy. But she's been, same thing, bullied to where she got herself.
Can I just take, I have to leave, I'm sorry, can I just take 2 seconds? My name's Ashley Whiting, I'm a counselor at Cedar Middle School. And I knew Jason, I liked Jason. I'm not speaking about any one scenario. I know for myself, I can only speak for myself, the whole reason I came into the job that I'm in was to help kids. And I know there are several teachers, administrators, counselors, aides, fellow students, former students, everybody included, who share the same belief. We want to help kids. There is a huge societal problem that we have, and there isn't an easy solution. I wish it was as simple as lunch detention. I think that would make all of us, that would be a big relief for all of us in so many ways if it were as simple as that. Kids are mean. Adults are mean. Adults bully. Kids bully. It is a societal problem that we all have to work together to try and solve. I know that we are, at Cedar Middle School, we are fully committed to that. It is difficult with over 1,000 students. I wish we knew what was going on with every student's life, in school and out of school. There are a lot of really hard things kids are dealing with in both. We have to count on our other students and our parents. We have to know that these things are happening, and if we don't know, we can't do anything about it. We reiterate that every single month. I'm in the 6th grade classrooms. Every single time I start with 2 rules and a reminder. The golden rule, the Bambi rule, what Thumper said in the movie, and a reminder that everybody has their own situation outside of school. And we can sit and fight about it, we can argue about it, but that's not getting us anywhere. If we can all take a proactive and positive approach, we will see change. And we all have to be committed to that. And it's hard, and emotions are raw. But I think at the end of the day, we all want the same thing. And we will do, I will do, and I know that many other people in this room will do everything we possibly can. I would never say those are just words. That's not how we would address it. And I apologize to anybody if that has happened, because that's wrong. But we need to have open dialogue about it far before a horrific tragedy like this brings it to the forefront. So anything we can do, I'm committed to doing anything to help everybody in Iron County School District, so we don't have another tragedy like we just had here. So, thank you.
I agree, and I'll apologize for my outburst. I was pissed. But see, it's funny. You guys felt scared, you called the cops. We'll respect it. My son did the same thing. They effed him over. Think about it. You guys are all scared, little old me. And you had to bring in these guys. But when my son was getting beat up and I brought in these guys, they did shit. And the school put it under the carpet. I'm not going to say I hope you can live in yourself or sleep tonight, because you guys will. You don't care, it's not your kid.
Well, then maybe some of you have a heart.
This guy cares.
All right,
He's the one to talk to.
then you're the one that will still be walking.
There's I'd like to issue you a challenge. Let's start as a community, as a school district. Let's put an end to it. Let's make an example for the rest of the state and the nation. Let's put an end to bullying. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate all of you coming tonight. You're welcome to stay for as much as the meeting is you'd like.
And I first want to say, true, Rebecca, I'm so sorry for what you go through. You know I feel that way. You sat in the office, I didn't have a chance to ever know Jason was at the high school before I came to middle school. But I want everybody to know that never has a child walked in my office that I haven't taken what they said seriously. Put a parent first. That's how I live in school. I know what those kids go through in middle school. It's rough. I have rough too in middle school. But what Mr. Powell said is true. It starts at home. And as Mrs. Whiting said, it is a societal problem. Society is much different than when I grew up. We didn't combat violent video games and violent movies and violence on nighttime television that our kids sit and watch in commercials. So it is a societal problem, and we take it very seriously, Mr. Nelson and I do. We do everything we can at our school. We spend most of our day, every single day, talking to kids that come into our office and said something's happening. Interviewing as many kids as we can, as many witnesses as we can to find out the whole story, and taking care of the situation, calling parents so that we know how we followed up. So I want you to know that I can't speak for every administrator in every county school district, but at Spear Middle School, it's something that we do take very seriously. Cleaning in our hallways is constantly being taught by our ambassadors, through assemblies, by our counselors. And so please know that it is in the forefront of our minds because we are parents first. That is our job, very first, is to be a parent and make sure those kids are protected. If we know about it. We just had a situation this week with a parent that called concerned and wanting to switch their child's schedule because they were being harassed. The parent wouldn't give us any names. They wouldn't tell us what is being done or what exactly is being done. And I can't fix the problem I don't know about. And so as an administrator, when you call, please give us as many details as you can. Please encourage your kids and teach your kids what to do when there is a situation where there's bullying. Because if we don't know about it, I wish I could have a million eyes in the school that I could see everything that's going on from every kid's perspective. But I can't. I'm one person. There's 4 of us with our 2 counselors and our multiple teachers, but we still don't see everything. Kids are smart. Kids are sneaky. So please teach your kids when something happens, how to handle that appropriately. Come and talk to us to let us know. Because I do take it very seriously. Because I worry about my own child in that situation, and I've been through that situation.
I need a compliment. I'm curious, so when they report it, there's a policy in place, they're approved, or when they report it, do parents know what that policy is? Do you call a parent and say?
At our school, we call the parents.
And you call the offending parent?
After we investigate, if it's something that has turned out that it has happened, then yes, I call the offending parent and I say, this is what happened. Your child's been involved.
And so while you're investigating, how long does that normally take? And do you have to have proof, or is it just verbal, he said, she said?
We will sit in the interview as many as we can. I don't want the child to go home thinking they didn't do anything. And I like both parents to know by the end of the day. So we try to do everything we can that day.
Which school does this?
This is Cedar Middle School.
So my question is, like, as I'm hearing people say the administrator is doing things, is there a repercussion for not following your stated policy? I think that would be.
It's our understanding as a board that those are being followed, and so when something happens,
Like they're not.
well,
That's
it
why I'm
sounds like
curious if there is
she's
a-
doing, yeah, there's,
there
I don't
is a-
know, we We don't.
Our kids would come home and tell us. We never got a phone call or a
And
letter.
we don't know, we hear about those when we get a notification from a safe school hearing of some sort that there's been an incident that's happened. So we don't hear about it the day it happens. You know, these administrators that are hired to administrate the schools.
Well, I think what happens is the administrators don't want a problem reported in their school. Because, see,
But
the,
Bryce, no, I'm not that way.
oh,
I
yeah,
saw
well,
somebody
maybe
on the
now,
phone
but,
with
you know, when
Jennifer
Jason went to Cedar Middle
when
School,
I'm constantly on the phone with Shannon Lee.
She wasn't
To me, I'm very
principal when
serious.
your son went there. She became
I was
principal.
principal last year with Ivor.
Yeah.
So to me, it's something I take very seriously.
okay, well, I appreciate that, but it was, anytime there was an incident, our son came home and told us about it, and then we went there the next day to get things, get the ball rolling, and then the next day was,
And I'm
yeah,
sorry.
whatever, yeah.
Because that's what happened, I'm sorry. But know that there are policies in place, I believe this is your son, that talked about second step and those systems, we still have those in place, we still use them. And I will not, I take it very seriously, Mr. Nelson takes it very seriously, it's not something we'll tolerate at our school. Because every kid has the right to come to school and learn, and if they don't feel safe, they're not learning. And education, student safety, and their emotional well-being is first and foremost for us. And so know that
Those
it
are nice
is being
words,
taken care
but
of by
they
most
need,
schools.
you know, you need this power behind it.
Rebecca, come on. Come on up.
So, I'm born and raised, Cedar City, Utah. I've been here my entire life. I went to Canyon View High School, graduated class of 2013. I was never really a problem child. I have to say, I think my lucky stars every day there was a kid I went to school with. And to me, the bullying that I saw, it was always between the jocks and the nerds. The jocks think they're so much better. They're athletic. They go and play sports. You have your nerds that sit and, I mean, they're so smart. Literally, they are gifted. They can do anything on a computer. They can sit and take apart a computer, put it back together, no problem whatsoever. But because these people that think they're so much better because they go out and they play sports, they think they have a right to pick on these people because they don't go out and play sports. They're not gifted enough to be able to run 100 meters in 11 seconds. I was born and raised here. I witnessed it. I never opened my mouth because I thought it was none of my business. I thank my lucky stars every day that the kids I saw being picked on didn't go home and take their life. Because I would have felt guilty as crap. We need, as a community, I don't care if I have to come and sit down with every single one of you at your desk every single night for the next year, 2 years. We need something in our schools. We need something put in place. A special class that is required for every student to take. Signs of depression. Signs that they say, Jason told the girl 2 hours as he was getting out of school. He said it's not going to matter in 2 hours anyways. That girl went home and told her dad. Her dad didn't do anything. And she went home and told her dad, so she thought she did her job. Why was his parents never contacted? Jason showed signs at school that we never knew about until after everything was said and done. We need to teach the kids today that it is okay to open your mouth and speak up. The reason I did it is because I didn't want to be picked on too. I sat in the back corner. Everybody left me alone. I remember in first grade being picked on. I was picked on as a child. All through elementary school. Nothing was ever done. Something has to be done now. Our suicide rate is going up higher and higher every single month, every single year. It needs to stop. I don't care if I have to come sit down with every single one of you guys for the next 5 years until she gets into school. high school? I've been bullied for 6 years. I went to the office about it. Nobody, they just let it go. I can't stand it. I've got marks on me. I tried last year.
She tried to commit suicide last November.
And I've been to the office, and they did nothing about it. Cedar Middle did nothing. They brought the kids in, talked to them. I said, okay, just don't do it again. Let him go. And you know how hard that is? It's for 6 years. Growing up with that and not doing anything about it. We've tried. We went to everybody, and there's nothing that's been done about it.
Like I said, the school system wants to be a perfect school system, perfect football, the perfect band. You don't want to be mentioned that they're also the number one for bowling.
Well, I think the last thing that we ever want to do is try to shy away from existing problems.
But we got 6 years, so,
I-
maybe from now on it won't, but,
Yeah,
and who knows how many years before
and
that.
I was going to say, and thank you for the wake-up call. If it's to this degree, obviously, what's the systems that we have in place? There is always two sides to every story. It's a challenging thing for any even adult role situation to bring kids in. And unfortunately, I have my youngest son, Mr. Nielsen left, but he's called me multiple times. I've been on the other side. I've been on the receiving end of that phone call. And come pick up your son. He'll be out for the next 2 days or 3 days, whatever the case may be, and then he has consequences at home that are above and beyond whatever.
Well, maybe that's just, like when we get in trouble at work, when we used to work, I'm retired now, but, it was always your suspended pending an investigation.
Yeah. Right. But anyway, the bottom line is, I think that we have more of an agenda that we got to take care of. But my comment is thank you. Thank you for bringing it to our attention. Thank you for adding the bits and pieces that we had heard recently. And I can assure you that it will be a focus of the school board and the administration.
Well, I hope it doesn't.
No doubt
get
about
done
it. No doubt about it.
Thank you for your time. If I could just add one thing, something that my son and I have been thinking about for creating some sort of anti-bullying alliance in the schools, where the parents, the community can band together and take a stand against it, and maybe even create some kind of a support system inside the school where the parents to promote love, empathy, and forgiveness, and give these kids the tools they need to love each other. I mean, really, because like, I don't know who the gentleman was that, I'm sorry, who name? Johnny Carroll, it starts at home, and that's a part of the problem.
It absolutely does. You're absolutely right. It starts at home for everybody.
How would that work? If we were to come up with something like that, would that be something that would be allowed in the schools?
It's a commitment, yes, we have.
So that's exactly what I was advocating for in my comments previously. It's got to be our entire community, because we can address it to the point that we can address it, and we can beef up our training for administrators and all of that. But until we have, sorry, I'm going to get emotional. Until we have that kind of alliance and recognition from parents and from families and from everyone who's working with them. What a sweetheart, thank you. Everybody who's working for the good of our kids, because that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about any of us. We're not talking about our egos. We're not talking about meeting our needs. We're talking about meeting the needs of our children in our community, right? And if we're going to do that, it's got to be a concerted effort between all of us. And so, to address your comment earlier, I'm not advocating for bringing people together just talking. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. I'm advocating for what is your name?
Sarah.
Sarah. Thank you, Sarah, for what Sarah has just said, because out of everything that's been said today, that makes a ton of sense. And I hope it makes sense for all of you, because then we're working together for solutions. because we have things like the Rachel story. We have the challenge that we had at Cedar High School just 4 or 5 years ago, where we had these conversations with kids, with jocks, and with others, where we brought them together, and it was wonderful. And great conversations took place. But until we have parents and families that's ongoing, it's not a program. It's not a program. Yeah, it's a community effort. So thank you. Appreciate that. Yes.
I just have a comment to make, and it's kind of, instead of the school sweeping the incident with Jason and stuff under the rug, and other kids that have done the same thing, they need to bring it out and say, you know what, the words that you use, the way that you treat people affect others. And not only does it affect his family, it affects his friends. Now this kid, he's not here anymore. He was a beautiful young man. On my school bus, I have a picture of Jason on my school bus. And kids ask about it, and I tell them, when people are mean to others, and sometimes it gets to the point these kids can't take it anymore. I said, my very own daughter, last November, tried to kill herself because of bullying. So you need to think about how you or others treat people. Your words, your actions do have an effect on others. And I think sweeping stuff under the rug and trying to keep it quiet, because I spoke with one of the counselors at Cedar High School, and they go, we're trying to get everything back to normal. I understand that, but it needs to be made known that happened to this young man and why.
And I don't think we're trying to sweep it under. We're paying attention to every child, because we have 9,143 kids that we serve in
I
Iron County.
understand that.
And so what you're saying, Christine, is exactly what needs to happen, and exactly what we were just talking about. If our bus drivers are aware, and they're having those conversations with the kids that they interact with every day, if our lunch ladies are aware, and they're interacting with kids every day, if our paraprofessionals and our teachers and our students, our student councils, our leadership, if they're interacting and having those conversations every day, if our resource officers, as they're having conversations with kids and dealings with kids, and they deal with some tough things, if those conversations are being had at every single level, then it's a concerted effort. Then it's not a program. Then it's something that our kids understand that we are in together.
I don't think it would be a bad idea to have kids that are going to it in the district do share their stories with the school if they feel comfortable with doing so.
Can we do rallies and whatever? We actually middle school have a program program. From that is their only focus in the school, teaching every sharing of they do when students find out they already know about it, something happens, they do go into their classes and leave nice sticky notes on their tables, on their desks, on their notebooks. And we're working right now with the Utah Anti-Bullying Coalition to come in and do assemblies and work with their program to help support and increase our matching. So there are those programs out there that schools just have to call, and that's something important. I recognize some faces from my job. And as you know, we all have to do yearly, we have to do training on the noticing of suicide or people who are in crisis that just are trying to cry out but don't dare come forward. Could we implement that in maybe the health class in school so maybe the students can become more aware of other kids? You know, because maybe, whatever, maybe if we educate the kids also on how to recognize another kid, maybe that might help.
And we have that to a certain extent here in Southwest Center. I'm a mom acting with it.
Yeah, and I'm Mr. Croft, school counselor at Cedar Middle School. I love that because we do go into health classes. In fact, next week, Monday, Tuesday, will be in Mrs. Chamberlain's and Mrs. Brown's class, 7th grade health class. We address depression, suicide, children game, and I love those conversations. They're great. They do happen. Do they happen, a couple times a year, every grade? I don't think so. But we do have those discussions with kids without warning signs, things that they might hear their friends say. And and one thing that's about that that's frustrating is kids use suicide terms so loosely amongst friends. It's not uncommon for kids to say to a friend, well, I'm just going to kill myself. You know, and they say comments like that. And they let it bounce off. And so in this lesson, we try to stress that. Like, look, your buddies say that. If you want someone that says that loosely, that's not cool. It's not cool to just say it loosely. It's a serious thing. And Mrs. Whiting and I, and we err on the side of caution. If the student says that in jest, we'll call them down. And we do call them down. And hopefully they learn that it's not something just to say. I think the conversation's great if it happened maybe more good.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, is there a way to implement more often or in all the grades? Because I'm just trying to come up with solutions. Like I said, every year, we have to go through it every year. Why aren't our children having to do it like we do? You know, I mean, yes, we click through the wonderful e-learning, but oh my gosh, this again. But at the same time, I take a sheet out to them too. Either way, I mean, the government has to do it, healthcare has to do it, we all have to do it, so why, you know, I was just wondering, is there a way to implement this a little bit more into, yeah, he said that they are doing some classes, but we maybe reinforce that a little bit more.
It is done in all the schools, and yes, there has to be a way, I guess, to have a greater focus on it. I would, and this is just painting chapter 10, verse 3. I would love to have you, without the expletives, share a video of what you shared with us right now. And any parent who's gone through it, if you can create that video that may become a part of a presentation, especially in a situation where kids in our own schools may know your children, so that it brings it not to the level of, you know, a kid in Washington, D.C. or a kid in Florida or whatever, but if you're willing to create a video of talking just about your son and some of the challenges that he went through, any one of you, even those that have experienced the bullying, fortunately without the suicide factor, I just think that we can, anything that we do to bring it more home to us, to put it in, you know, right down to Cedar City, Utah, could be an advantage. And having those in hand may give us some access to ways that we can apply that and use that in instructional material to say, this is real. And I appreciate your comment because, yeah, I mean, I hear the frivolous, I'm going to go kill myself, and they're using it with such, you know, it's a joking kind of a thing. Then when it becomes serious, you know, nobody really knows because of the way they've always just like that.
I don't see how, I mean, I can agree, you know, video or collage or something, but the thing is, my video would only say, if you're thinking of committing suicide or getting bullied, you can't turn to anybody because no one's going to listen to you, especially at school where it's happening. That's how I would end my summation.
It would have to be in that scenario. And again, I appreciate that you're hurting, but what I'm asking you to do is become a part of the solution, not a part of the problem. As a part of the solution, if you can create a message that you can share that says, these are the kind of things that happen to my son or my daughter.
It may take a while.
And I understand, but can you see where I'm coming from?
Yeah,
I'm asking you to be a part of the solution, which says, these are the things that my son or daughter was challenged with. And if you're one of the individuals in this school, if you're one of the students in this school that is doing that or causing that, please think twice, because the end result is always negative.
But you know what happens when you're a bully? They don't care what they see. You know, they go, yeah, you know, loser kid, he's dead, who cares?
Again, it starts at home, and hopefully what they hear at home and then what they hear at school will help.
Okay, you guys are saying it starts at home. but also implementing it if you think the kids are at school more than they are at home. Technically, the school is kind of their home. So implementing it to the teachers, and I know I was a football player, and fortunately, my coaches at the time were all about being the bigger brother. I haven't seen that lately. I've been to the schools a lot, and I think we've lost the fact of being the bigger brother, the bigger sister, or anything like that. It doesn't just need to be applied to the parents or the kids. It needs to be applied to the coaches and the teachers too. And I think that's where we lost our grip.
Well, again, thanks for all the input.
I like your point.
You're loud enough.
Derek, yes, I am loud enough. I really like your point, and I think you make an important one. And I wanted to be quiet, but I didn't want you to walk out of here and think that I didn't care. I didn't ever meet your son. My daughter knew him. They were in a band together. So we're strangers, right? Like I've never met you. But I'm a mama. Okay? I have babies too. And my heart broke when I found out about your son. I was horrified. Horrified. I couldn't sleep. I lost sleep over someone I had never met. Because I don't know him, but he's a child. And I relate to the love that a parent has for their child. And I don't want you to walk out of here and think that I don't love him and that I wouldn't do anything that I could to protect him. Now, I may look like, I don't know what I look like to you, but I understand bullying. You may not think that I do. I have an older sister, she's 18 months older than me, and she's autistic. And you want to talk about cruel. And because I was her sister, I was a victim of bullying too, and I mean serious bullying. I was spat on, and punched, and shoved. My hair pulled, and tripped, and made fun of all of the time. So I understand a little. I mean, I didn't walk in your son's shoes, okay? But I get it a little bit. And I want you to know, you have an advocate in me, that if it ever comes to my attention that someone's being bullied, and you can ask many parents, because I've been approached in my 5 years on the school board by many parents, my child's being bullied, you ask them what I do in response, and I never let it go until it's resolved. Ever. You have a friend and ally in me. And I wanted you to know that.
Okay, sorry. I went to school middle. I'm now going to Cedar High School. I knew Jason, and Steve and I had to walk out and all that stuff. Okay, he was one of the first kids that would be nice to me when I got here. Okay, I was bullied all the way through elementary school until I was just a little bit, and I got bullied again. And I finally got pissed off. I have anger issues, believe it or not, I do. And I started fighting back because I went to Mr. Nelson. I went to Mr. Alhalter. I went to they didn't do anything for me. Not one thing. So what did I start doing? I started punching people in the face. And if I had known Jason well enough to know that he was getting bullied, I would have started punching his bullies in the face too. Because he didn't deserve that, number one. Number two, no one deserves to feel so badly in school and unsafe in school that they feel they need to go home and shoot themselves. I have scars to prove my pain. I have that. My sister, well, she's not blessed, but my sister was raped and she was bullied. And she comes down here
just to get bullied even more. When she thought she'd be safe. Because it's the Mormon town, right? She thought she'd be safe here. I'm not. I'm a great kid. I'm sorry. I do. I don't have a good heart. I do. You're crying. Okay? I have no authority. I have problems with authority. Because I've gone to authority. I've gone to police. I've gone to teachers. I've gone to principals. And none of you guys do anything. So I'm sorry. But until something actually happens and you guys do something about this, I will not have faith in any one of you. And if I end up getting suspended, expelled, I don't care. If I'm going to be the ones to take care of the bullies because you guys can't, obviously, because look at all these people who are getting bullied. My little sister's 11-year-old friend, 11 years old, cutting herself because of bullying. Doesn't matter. Still too young. Okay? I'm sorry. I have no faith in any of you, and especially not you police. I have no faith in any of you. And quite frankly, I don't think that when any of us leave this room, anything's going to happen. I don't. Because when I went to school and I found out about Jason, no one had any clue why he did what he did. No one had any clue what actually happened. The school had told us not to talk about it. We weren't allowed to think about it.
They wouldn't even allow a minute of silence. Some teachers took it upon themselves to say, we're not doing nothing. And if you want to talk about Jason, talk about it. But the school did nothing to even recognize that there was a passing.
My friend Jessica knew Jason very well. They had math together, sat right next to each other. She was bawling in my arms because Jason told her what he was going to do. And she didn't take him seriously because of what he said. People say it all the time. She had no clue what he was actually going to do. She sat there bawled in my arms. We missed half of a class period. I got marked absent. She got marked absent. We got yelled at and got told to go back to class when she was mourning over her friend. Now, please tell me if that's what they would be going to. Where someone who was best friends with another person who commits suicide, a teenager at that, gets yelled at for mourning over their friend. Please explain to me how the place will be going to. Can anybody explain that? I didn't think so.
Obviously, there's work to be done, and like I said before, we appreciate the work your statement, there's nothing to be done when we leave here, is flat false.
You have to understand where I'm coming from on that statement.
I do.
I've been there, I've gone to meet people, and nothing's ever happened. So until I walk out of here, I don't see another one of